Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I finally finished up Scream the TV series Season 3. Of course, I have Season 1 right here. It's the only physical copy I can get of anything from the TV series. Season 2 is also good. They happen to be on MTV back in the day. Right now, all 3 seasons are collected on Netflix. It's the only place I could watch these. I think you can rent them on Prime. I don't know. It wasn't worth the money. I already had a Netflix subscription right now, so I thought that was worthwhile trying to sit through these in anticipation for the Scream 6 movie, which already came out. I already reviewed it. Didn't have enough time to get it done before Scream 6 came out, but here I am. Scream Season 3, which really isn't a Season 3. It ignores everything about Seasons 1 and 2, it reboots everything, new cast, new crew, no Wes Craven, no Kevin Williamson involvement, nothing like that at all. It may or may not be owned by Queen Latifah. I can't figure it out. She was an executive producer on the show, so I'm pretty sure she was heavily involved in the rights. Maybe owned them, maybe didn't. I can't figure that out. Tried to look it up online, couldn't find out anything about it. Anyway, the original title for Season 3 of Scream, which really isn't Season 3 of Scream, it was a reboot series that premiered on VH1, a sister network, sister channel, something like that, to MTV. On my stations in Virginia, it was like one station up. You had MTV, MTV2, and then you had VH1. That's how it was. This original title on the VH1 Scream TV series was Scream Resurrection. When was the last time we ever had a big franchise with the word resurrection of the fucking title that was good? Or benefited it at all? It didn't. Not very often. Not really. It even messed up, the Matrix series. I ruined that too. Resurrection was the worst one. I will stand on that as long as I can. Anyway, here we are talking about this horrible Season 3 that I fucking hated so much. I love Season 1 and Season 2 because of the clever writing, because of so many things that happened with that show that were so special. And I've reviewed it, I've raved over it. Season 1 is the best. Season 2 is really good as a follow-up for all the strands of Season 1 they picked up on. Now, all of the leftover plotline stuff were just dropped. Season 3 doesn't cover it at all. It's about 6 episodes long, in total. And it came out 3 years after Season 2 of the MTV series ended. Which makes it even more insulting that they call this Season 3. I'm going to list it that way too, but it is to me a reboot series that has nothing to do with that original MTV series, period. Plain and simple, that's the way I stand on this bullshit. Anyway, what is the plot for this horrible, horrible, woke fucking travesty of a show? Yeah, this is woke. It totally is. It's political as shit. The first episode, people, mainly a Keke Palmer character, if you know who she is, she's ranting about Trump, she's ranting about white people, she's trashing police throughout the entire season. It's so fucking boring. I hate that about it. The series is boring in general on this season. Or this new series, if you want to call it that, whatever you would like to refer to this shit as. Scream Resurrection. It's boring. It's political bullshit. It's SJW bullshit. All of the clever writing you had for every character, straight, gay, black, white, anything on the first seasons, are completely thrown out the window for Season 3. Season 3, or Scream Resurrection, is such a travesty. Everything that could be bad here is pretty much bad. There is one good actress in the entire show. I'll talk about her in a little bit pretty briefly. But for right now, I want to talk about the plot, as I said. Essentially, the story focuses on 2 twins on a prologue on Halloween night. They are out trick-or-treating. One is dressed up in the traditional Ghostface costume. Yes, at this point, when this show came out in 2019, they had managed to figure out the costume rights. That's the reason Season 1 and Season 2 of the MTV series didn't have the original Ghostface costume from the films. There was some kind of rights issue with Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven in the studios and whatever. I don't know what happened there, but there was some kind of rights issue. They made a whole story, background lore thing tied to the new Brandon James mask, and I loved that. I thought it was very good as the heart and soul for that costume, for that killer, for that identity, whatever. It was great. I loved it. But in this season, in Season 3, this show, whatever, they have the original costume from the original films without the glitter in the robe, which I thought was weird. You have everything back, but not the sparkles in the robe. What the hell? So Ghostface can look good. One of the twins that are out trick-or-treating on this particular night happens to be dressed up as the traditional Ghostface. His brother, named Dion, is a big football player in real life, a big athletic kid. He dresses up as a football player. Okay. Well, the younger brother, who dresses up as Ghostface on Halloween, is getting bullied, and these bullies take his candy bag and throw it over a junkyard fence, and the two twins have to sneak in to go get his candy. And this particular area is owned by a man called the Hookman, by locals and by children in the neighborhood and all of that. They're scared to death of the guy. He has a hook for a hand, apparently. And it's a great cameo from a great horror icon that I really appreciated seeing. And he is one of the only ones that deserved the spotlight he got in this season. He's great. I love the cameo. If you've seen it, you probably love this and appreciate it as much as I do. But anyway, he kills one of the kids. He takes Marcus, the one in the Ghostface costume, and puts his hook hand through the boy's forehead and kills him that way. And Dion, who ends up being our main character when we skip all these years later, he's an adult, in high school, whatever now, he witnessed this whole thing go down. He witnessed the trial of the Hookman going on trial. And now he's an adult, these murders start happening, and Dion is beloved. Dion is beloved by his school, people who don't know him, strangers on the street, everybody fucking loves Dion. Do you know why? Do you know how I know why? Because it's written that way. Every single character is going to tell you in this show how great and how talented and how smart and how funny and how witty and how clever Mr. Dion is. And he has no fucking personality at all, no talents at all, aside from being partially athletic that we never actually witness ourselves. We're just told constantly about how good he is. He wants a scholarship to college. He plays a lot of football, like I said. And he's so boring. Every character in here is like that. This poor guy was so misused and miscast, especially. I don't know who he is. They did him wrong, though. Queen Latifah, you failed this poor guy. Have you ever had somebody that when they smile, that the smile doesn't reach the eyes? Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that at all? This poor guy is like that. And he's our hero character, our main protagonist, or our protagonist, it's the same thing, for this show. And they waste him. They cast him with this poor kid who can't act. He can't get angry properly on camera. He can't be funny. He can't be silly. He's not anything that you need him to be. And his character is everywhere. On his decisions, his thoughts, his reveals, all of it. It's such stupid shit, dude. He has a love interest who's a new girl in school. Her dad is a cop. She's cool. She's a pretty chick. Bad acting. Bad writing, but bad acting because of bad writing and bad directing. Which is another big issue with the show, by the way. So then you have Keke Palmer, who is a massive activist in this area, this school. She's always screaming about, again, Trump, white people, police. It's all she talks about the entire season. 6 episodes of hearing this chick fucking whine. She's awful. She's awful. She has a best friend who happens to be gay named Manny. Is he a well-written gay character? Absolutely not. Not like Audrey from Season 1 and Season 2, which is why I label this show woke. These characters are just archetypes for what the SJWs seem to deem a good person. That's the way Manny is. Manny has nothing to him at all as a character. There's nothing interesting about him. He has no hobbies, no likes, dislikes, anything like that. He's just a boring character. Audrey from season... Excuse me, I bit my lip. Audrey from Season 1 and Season 2... loves horror films, loves her friends, is kind of bullied, tortured, a lot of stuff like that happened to this chick. We find out more and more about her in Season 2. And she's great. The actress is great. I've seen her in a bunch of stuff like Arrow. And they didn't waste it. They didn't waste the amount of time they had, typically 10 episodes per season, to really do some good stuff with Audrey. Manny. Did they do anything with this guy? No, they don't. Dion has another friend, pretty much his main friend, named Amir, who happens to be a black Muslim fellow. And the actor gets nothing to work with, writing-wise, or directing-wise. He seems like a very sweet man, a very kind of a teddy bear type of dude, and I like him. He's a likable guy. The character's not. Amir is just boring, like everybody else in the show. You're either completely annoying or you're completely boring in this show. Tyler Posey, the main character from Teen Wolf, the main actor from Teen Wolf, is in this playing a drug addict, or drug dealer, kind of both. Is he good? Not really. There's a jock character in here that takes the place of what this season's characters are called as the Deadfast Club, which is a play on The Breakfast Club. And they hate on The Breakfast Club too. They trash it. They think it's a bad movie about white kids in detention. Which it is, but they hate it in a weird racist way. It's such a stupid movie. and such a stupid show in general. And then there's this one chick that I love. She is the only good actress in the entire show, good enough to the point where I think I need to mention her actual actor name in here. Let me bring up season 3 on on this to make sure that I get the name right, and to make sure you know how much this matters. Georgia Wiggum, who was in The Orville and the Punisher TV show with Jon Bernthal. She's great. She's really great. She's a gothic chick. I love goths. I love goth girls. It's beautiful. Love it. The makeup and everything. Fantastic. Super sexy. She's phenomenal here. She's really good. She is kind of our Jamie Kennedy horror movie fan person who gets sucked into this Deadfast club. And she tries to teach everybody else the rules. Keke Palmer's activist character kind of already knows about that stuff. But Beth, the goth chick, is great. I love her. I love every moment that she's on screen. She does some really good stuff. Let's talk about the kills. The kills in this show are awful. They're basic stabbings, basic neck slitting, that kind of thing. You have the hook in the forehead thing I mentioned, which was pretty cool. It's very brief, very CGI. Pretty much all the kills are in this season. Nothing is pretty much a practical effect, which is a shame. Season 1 and Season 2 had that. It looked great, pretty much always. A little bit of CGI killing here and there, but not as much as this season. There's one particular kill. I don't want to tell you too much, but it involves an elevator and a bone saw. And this shit is totally physically, logically impossible for how it happened. It's embarrassing how bad it was. The look of the show is horrible. The cinematography of it is so pale and washed out and ugly. It's just blue in an ugly way. To be a show called Resurrection, you would think that it wouldn't be as dead-looking as it is. It's really a shame, you know? The show goes from being set in the suburbs in the first 2 seasons and kind of that suburban area of that life. Some kids are rich in the first 2 seasons. Seeing all of those environments, how colorful they were, how beautiful the cinematography was for those first 2 seasons. Seeing the budget drop so much to make such a shitty, not taking place in the suburban area of this season, it's so depressing how awful this was. I don't even have words for it. If you're a big fan of the first 2 seasons like myself, you're gonna hate this. It's absolute trash. It sucks ass. It has nothing really good about it at all, aside from Beth. That's really it. There's no real good mystery here. Also, there's a side character played by Tyga, the rapper that I knew from middle school that I really loved. It was back in my day when I was a fan of like Young Jeezy and 3 6 Mafia. Tyga was on the TV, on MTV as a matter of fact, doing rap songs. I remember liking the guy. He can't act for shit though. He's in this trying, but he's not good. There's nothing really else to say, aside from my last complaint, which is the music. Jesus. The music is horrible. It's shitty rap music that somebody's cousin made, and they put it in here, in the background. That's what it is. On a VH1 TV show based around Scream. Shitty rap music in the background. It reminds me of the first Purge. Not the first Purge movie, the movie called The First Purge. In that horrible series, that's a really awful movie. This movie sucks. This show sucks. It's awful. It is easily the worst thing to ever happen to Scream, which is sad, because the first 2 seasons from the MTV series are some of the best things I think ever happened to Scream, outside of the newer 2 movies, Scream 5 and Scream 6. I don't like really any of the Scream sequels more than I like the first 2 seasons of the TV show. I think they're fantastic and perfect a lot of the time, if not most of the time, or all the time. But this season 3, to be attached to this shit, is sad. Because then when I recommend this show to people that go to Netflix, for example, to watch it, they're going to see season 1 and season 2, they're going to love them, I think. And then they get to this shit, and they're going to think that because it's listed as season 3, they really don't know that it's actually called Scream Resurrection. It's a completely different show, has nothing to do with those first 2 great seasons, and it'll kill all the momentum for them. And they'll never mention it ever to anybody ever again. Even though they're excited and love the first 2 seasons, they will never tell a friend about it ever again. That's how bad this is. It's embarrassing, frankly. It really upsets me a lot. If I seem angry, it's probably because I'm very antsy, because I've recorded this review probably 6 or 7 times now because of how much I hate this season. I just couldn't get it right. in a very clear, concise, cohesive way. I think I did here. This will probably be the review I upload. I don't know. But anyway, when it comes to Scream Season 3, or Scream the TV series Season 3, or Scream the TV series Resurrection, whatever the fuck this thing is called, it's awful. Do not waste your time on this garbage. Don't even touch it. Don't even think about it. Just skip it. Just watch the first 2 seasons. Ignore everything after. Anyway, if I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, I would give this a 1 out of 5 stars. I hated everything in here. It's fucking garbage. Except for Beth. Beth is the one good thing in here. And the nostalgia I had about Tyga being in this. Even though he was terrible, at least it brought back a good childhood memory. But other than that, it's awful. I hate it deeply. I hate it so much. It is the worst thing that ever came from Scream. Easily. Anyway, have you seen it? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the entire TV series of Scream. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know everything you thought about this particular season down below. Thank you for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.